Hey guys, well, unfortunately, Port Adelaide's season is officially over, but the AFLW season does continue into finals, and I will continue to give my predictions as well as review how my predictions from the previous weeks went right up until grand final day. So, without further ado, let's look at how my round 12 predictions go. And as I expected, North Melbourne made pretty easy work of Hawthorn. Like Hawthorn had arguably their worst game. I think they kicked 2 goals for the entire game. Yep, so much for being the challenge to North Melbourne. Like nobody is stopping these Roos, are they? As we'll come to in the finals. But regardless, what was a big surprise was Carlton becoming the first team to defeat West Coast at home and almost knock West Coast out of finals, as we will see some results later on. But damn, Carlton is in really solid form after a bit of a slip up earlier in the year against Sydney. They've definitely been looking really solid, and fingers crossed they might be able to go deep into finals, because I'm definitely kind of feeling jumping on the Carlton train with Poppy Schultz and with him almost saving our season. But regardless, let's talk about us. We won by 57, but unfortunately needed to win by 100 to make finals. But look, it was still nice seeing Houghton get her 100th goals. I just wish we didn't concede so many other goals and actually didn't have a pathetic percentage that deprived us. But regardless, we've got some other games to talk about. Richmond losing to Gold Coast was definitely not one I saw happening. Gold Coast had an absolutely solid end of the season, and what on earth has happened to Richmond? Like, I know they're going through a review now, but man, they are in big trouble come next season. And the upsets don't stop coming. Yeah, I did not predict this very well. Essendon bet Sydney. Like Sydney, Sydney was just one of those teams we had locked for finals, but no, they crashed out and they are done, along with us. So wow. Yeah, although I will admit people have been controversial about how Essendon won by really mucking up the game and really making it low scoring. But regardless, if they want to be a season pooper, they definitely succeeded. But regardless, we also have Melbourne. It's possibly a little bit closer with Geelong than I think they wanted, but look, a win's a win. And Geelong, really, they've ended up quite low on the ladder than I think a lot of people were predicting. So definitely a bit of a surprise. Then we have Brisbane, who I think, again, could have made a lot better work of Collingwood, but their accuracy is a bit scary about how bad it's been. Regardless, we also have St Kilda. Also, another big upset, losing to the Western Bulldogs by 45. Just wish we hadn't done. I wish we'd beaten them by 45 too. But regardless, the final game of the round, well, actually at the closest, I was only one off the margin. Adelaide won by 13 in a nail biter with Fremantle to somehow secure a home final after that poor form at the end of the season. But regardless, it's time, guys. It's time to look into finals. And we start Friday 7:15, Icon Park. First versus fourth, North Melbourne versus Hawthorn. Crazy enough, these teams last met last weekend, as I was just saying. But obviously it's switched now. Obviously North is the home team. Obviously they can't play at Arden Street for finals. But regardless, I think, can we just say, we're probably going to get the exact same result here. North Melbourne's, getting some of their players back who have been rested. They'll be in much stronger form. Hawthorn, I think their injury list is definitely hitting them now. They're coming up against the top end teams. And you think North Melbourne could win by a bigger margin. But for some reason, I'm feeling like North Melbourne is they're going to get a big margin and they're just going to play safe and steady to make sure the players don't get injured. And as a result, I think Hawthorn might not lose by as much as they did last week. So I'm just feeling like it's going to be a smaller margin because of finals and such, and have North only winning by 40, which I know it's still such a silly line. But regardless, the next matchup is on Saturday, 3:05, Carlton versus West Coast. Another matchup we saw last week, but also, once again, the teams are flipped, with Carlton this time being the home game, and once again at Icon Park. This one I'm a little unsure about, because Carlton definitely looking really strong and had that really good fourth quarter where they really had it against West Coast and, really blew the margin up with that amazing torp after the siren. But, I don't know, I feel like West Coast will read Carlton and will really come with a new game style to really test Carlton. So this reason I'm not entirely convinced Carlton's just going to walk through easy and get a win here. So I think this is going to be the game of the round, the real closest one. So I'm going to say Carlton win by 2 in a nail biter. I'm just feeling that this is going to be a really close game. Then, once again, Icon Park, Sunday 1:05 this time. And it is Melbourne versus Brisbane. And this is the only one where the away team has the odds to win, with Brisbane being tipped. And obviously because Brisbane did win last time these teams met 2 weeks ago. Obviously that was up in Brisbane, where maybe the hot weather affected Melbourne a bit. But yeah, that Brisbane accuracy problem is definitely going to be concerning as they go into the finals. Can Melbourne actually capitalise on it and get a win? Like, Melbourne's been very much a team beating up on the weaker teams and haven't had the best run against the top end. But, you know, I'm feeling them, but I don't know, just because Brisbane won last time and the odds are in their favour, I'm going to say Brisbane win. We have to tip one away team to win, right? And obviously Brisbane has a lot of final experience, being last year's runners-up. So I'm going to say Brisbane win by 8 and become the only away team to win this week. All right, finally, Adelaide versus St Kilda, Sunday 3:05. So it's interesting we have no evening games outside of the Friday, but this one's at Norwood, which is good. The only game this weekend not at Icon Park. Obviously, Alta for Adelaide, but last time this team met was that round 1 game where St Kilda somehow bet Adelaide. Obviously, St Kilda's had a good record against the South Australian teams this year, but do we think they're going to do it again? Like, is Adelaide... It's hard to read Adelaide. They've had these good games, and they've also had a lot of iffy games. And for this reason, I'm having trouble, but maybe because it's at home, I think Adelaide's going to really live for finals, and it's, you know, their last chance to win a final with their grand final with their current coach. And it's for this reason I think Adelaide's not going to let St Kilda run over them again, and this time win by, I say about 24. I think they'll win comfortably after what happened last time. So to run through it again, I have North Melbourne winning by 40, Carlton by 2 is the closest game of the round, Brisbane by 8, and Adelaide by 24. Well, come back next time as we look into the semi-finals. And, well, should I say let's go Power at the end of these videos? I don't know, we're still sort of working out the format. But regardless, I'll see you next time.